Recording. Welcome on this awesome Tuesday to Life Hacking 101. This is the last one of the semester, y'all. It feels like we've made it to the end of the semester, even though it's not quite, right? So as a reminder, Life Hacking 101 is a collaborative effort of Student Life, Career Services, and the Northwest Libraries, and we've had them every Tuesday this semester through today. Woohoo! I'm so glad y'all could make it, and keep your eye out for the calendar coming up in the spring, because we do like to have these every semester. All right, so today we have, as our final session, we have the wonderful Margo Jordan Baines. Hello, Margo. Good afternoon. So I have a bio here that I'm going to read about Margo so that y'all know all about her before she gets started. And then I will let her take it away. All right, so we have Margo Jordan Baines, born and raised in Milwaukee and moved to Houston, Texas in 2008. She attended Texas Southern University while serving in the United States Military Army National Guard. Married at the age of 23 and now a mother of 4. Woo! She juggles multiple hats. I only have 2 and it's crazy, right? She graduated in 2013 with a degree in finance and worked as an investment advisor for a top financial firm but soon discovered that her passion was not in finance, so she decided to take a leap of faith and become an entrepreneur. Margo founded social enterprise Chicks with Class, which operates Chicks with Class storefronts, licenses Chicks with Class franchises and merchandise, and offers the Chicks with Class curriculum via subscription services to select school districts, churches, and youth groups around the country. Chicks with Class LLC opened its first storefront in 2017, which is the first facility in Houston for celebration parties, etiquette programs, and empowerment workshops. Since founding Chicks with Class LLC, Margo has held several tween empowerment brunches with special guests such as Miss Black America Coed, Disney's Sky Jackson and Trinity Stokes, singer-actress Lyric Hurd, and more. The mission of Margo Jordan Baines is to empower, educate, and entertain girls all over the world through the products and experiences developed by Chicks with Class LLC. Margo has been recognized in media such as Voyage Houston for her entrepreneur skills. KPRC has toured the facility as a live segment of their hit show, Houston Life, and has received Entrepreneur of the Year at this year's Black Girl Excellence Awards Gala. In 2017, Margo was selected to be part of a 7-month growth program with BBVA Momentum, where she was given a lot of the tools she needed for social enterprises to grow. At the conclusion of the program, the teams were expected to pitch for capital in a 2-round series in front of a group of judges. Margo was able to secure second place and take home $25,000 to put toward the growth of Chicks with Class. Margo, that sounds amazing. I cannot wait to hear all about all these things, and take it away.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. It's so funny because I didn't realize that was a bio that you had. That is like so old. And it's so funny hearing all of the things that I had done. And it's okay, but it's very interesting. But now I am actually the founder of a company called Youth Richmond. After COVID happened, we transitioned into a post-COVID sort of option for our customers, and I developed a self-esteem based e-learning platform for children. And it's something that we have our customers all over the world now. So we're piloting our programs in Dubai, in Brazil, and then we're also going to start programs in Canada really soon. But I've won like over $250,000 in pitch competitions. I'm actually raising a seed round for my company, and we're expecting to close a little around 1 million by the end of the year. And it's super interesting. And the reason why I say all of this is because a lot of the reasons why I got to where I am today is because of these etiquette skills that I learned along the way. So when I started my first company, I thought it was really important to teach girls about self-esteem, but a very important aspect of that is to teach them about etiquette. And etiquette is all about social skills. If you have great etiquette, this really is the determining factor on whether or not people want to do business with you. And that is what our session today is about. We're going to talk about business etiquette. So I'm going to share my screen. Just give me one sec. Okay. So I believe everybody can see my screen. If you can't see my screen, please let me know. So yes, Youth in Richmond, I am helping to develop social skills so that you can reach your full potential. So as I said, having etiquette is literally the determining factor on whether or not people want to do business with you. And I'm going to go over a few key elements of what etiquette is and sort of how it can help to propel your careers. So we're going to talk about business etiquette. What is business etiquette? Please ignore that lowercase b. It's like a tick for me. I went through the PowerPoints and made sure that everything was spelled correctly, but I forgot to capitalize that B, so forgive me. So we're going to talk about telephone etiquette, email etiquette, and then in-person etiquette. So business etiquette is really a set of manners that is accepted or required in a profession. It's often upheld by custom. It is enforced by the members of an organization, and those who violate business etiquette are considered offensive. The penalty for such behavior frequently lies in the disapproval of other organization members. So as I said, this is like a determining factor on whether or not someone wants to do business with you. So let's say you answer the phone. I don't know how many entrepreneurs we have in attendance, but if you answer the phone with a business line and you just answer, oh, hello, that other person on the other line would have to second guess and say, wait, am I calling the right place? Because when you answer the phone, if you have a business line, or even if you're working with an employer, there is a certain way that you need to answer the phone. So we're going to go over that in a minute. Emails. There's also a certain way that you write emails and you construct these emails. And a lot of the times we may be constructing these emails and we're forgetting that this is for business purposes. I definitely email some of my friends or family members and I don't keep it as professional. But when I'm emailing someone in regards to a business deal, when I'm emailing my investors, when I'm emailing my customers, there's a certain way that you need to convey the email, and there's a certain way to construct that. And then there's also in-person etiquette. I know COVID threw everyone off last year, and we weren't able to meet in person and go to these networking events. But now the world is sort of opening back up and we're moving back into some sense of normalcy. So I want to show you a little video on some of the tools that you can take with you when you go out to these networking events, and you can really put these to use. And I promise you, it will help you stand out amongst your peers. So there are 5 business etiquette sins, okay? The first one is not greeting or using a name. Whenever I meet somebody for the first time, I always make sure I shake their hand, and when they tell me their name, I want to make sure that I'm repeating their name so that I remember who I met, first of all, because how many of us have went to a networking event, we're shaking hands, and we're like, hi, my name is Margo, nice to meet you. And then the person gives you their name, and then like 5 seconds later, you forget who it was that you just met. I know I'm guilty of it because I've done it several times. So to combat that, I like to repeat that person's name. So, hi, Julie. It's nice to meet you too. Julie. Now that name is embedded in my mind because I repeated her name. Another business etiquette sin is leaving people waiting. This is whether you step away from your desk, whether you put someone on hold. You never want to leave anybody waiting for a long period of time. And just think of it as if you were a customer, or if you were trying to get something completed and that other person left you waiting, that will pretty much leave a bad impression with that person of you. Also, interrupting. This is a huge one because oftentimes I'll go to networking events and there are some people who really they don't have social skills. So instead of waiting for someone to finish talking or whatever the case is, they will interrupt the conversation very rudely and end up leaving a bad impression. So it's always a great idea to not interrupt. And I teach my children this all the time. If you see mommy speaking, just give me a second. But yes, interrupting is a no-no when it comes to business etiquette. And then lack of courtesy and respect. This is a huge one, and we can literally stay on this topic for hours because there were so many different occurrences where people just have a lack of courtesy and respect for those around them. And this might be talking about something inappropriate when that conversation is only meant for you and another. This can also be, not addressing someone properly or not saying their name the correct way. Or if someone does say, hey, that's not how you pronounce my name, but you keep saying that person's name incorrectly, that is a sign of disrespect because you wouldn't want someone else to keep mispronouncing your name. And then breaking a confidence. So this is a huge one. When, let's say there's someone who tells you something in confidence. So maybe a coworker. So they tell you something and they expect that to stay between only you two, but you just feel a strong urge to go and share that information with someone else. And that is right there. That's a huge no-no when it comes to business etiquette because you're breaking that confidence. That person told you something and it was only supposed to stay between you two. So because you broke that confidence, that person is now looking at you completely different. So 2 fun facts. Did you know that bad etiquette skills can decrease your earning potential? So I mentioned something earlier about how when you have great etiquette or if you have bad etiquette, this can determine if someone wants to do business with you or not. So I'll just tell you a quick little story. I met a gentleman and I wanted to hire him to do some accounting work for me. We met a couple of times over Zoom, and every time I met with him, there was something about his energy and semi rudeness that just it really took me back. And I decided to go with a different accountant over him because of his inability to demonstrate proper social skills. So just right there, he lost the client. So how many times have you refused to do business with a freelancer or refused to do business with, I don't know, a restaurant because they were rude or because their social skills were lacking? So I want you to put that into perspective. Whenever you are greeting someone or whenever you're doing business with someone, it's really important to maintain these great etiquette skills and demonstrate how social you are. Also, did you know that bad etiquette skills can deter people from working with you? It's very similar to the story I mentioned earlier, but this can also play a huge part in the work environment. So you may end up having a really great job, right? The pay is great, the vacation is great, but it turns out you're working with someone who's very rude, or you might be that rude person. And because of that, nobody wants to work with you or you don't want to work with that person. And then that in turn can create a toxic work environment. So now every day you're going to work, you're not really comfortable there. And the people you're working with and or they don't want to work with you because of how rude you are. So pay attention to how your etiquette skills when you're in a business setting, especially in your work environment, because it's a huge determining factor. So here are some rules for good business etiquette. You always want to use names in a meeting. So every time you go to a meeting, please use that person's name, whether you're using their first name or their last name, but please address them properly. And then we're going to go over the 3 R's in just a second, but there's also wardrobe and hygiene. This is a key when it comes to good business etiquette. You would not believe how many people I've met who their appearance just threw me all the way off. So it's always a great idea. It's a really key piece for you to, and this is something that I do. Well, before I leave out the house in the morning, I make sure I look in the mirror. I look at my clothes. I make sure I don't have any stains. I look at my teeth. I make sure there isn't anything in my teeth. I look at my nose. I look at my face. I'm looking at my appearance, and I'm making sure that everything is up to par. Because if I meet somebody for the first time, and you all may laugh at this, but if I meet someone and it's my first time meeting them, and they have, like, I don't know, a huge black thing in like the middle of their teeth, and we're talking, what am I going to be paying attention to the entire time we're meeting? Probably that little black thing that's in the middle of their teeth. But you make sure you keep your hygiene kit on you, right? Or let's say we're out eating, and I'm eating with someone, we're discussing a business deal, and they have a huge tomato stain on their shirt because of how they were eating their soup or whatnot. And that's another part of etiquette. What am I going to be paying attention to the entire time we're meeting? I'm probably going to be looking at that orange stain, right? So make sure you're always paying attention to your wardrobe and to your hygiene. Inappropriate jokes is a no-no. I meet so many people, and they make these jokes, and they may be funny to them, but no one else is laughing. So if you want to tell a joke, make sure you run the joke past, I don't know, a stranger or something, and ask them what their opinion is on that joke. You also want to show gratitude. I really demonstrate what my gratitude level is with any and everything that I do. And when you demonstrate this gratitude, it makes people want to do business with you again and again and again. So whether that gratitude is sending a thank you note after a meeting, or writing up a quick email, letting that person know, thank you so much for XYZ. Make sure you're showing some type of gratitude. And telephone etiquette, this is also a really great one, because so many people lose customers, so many people lose deals because of their lack of telephone skills. We're going to go into that a little bit more, but I want to talk about these 3 R's. You want to make sure that you recognition, respect, and response. Recognize that everyone is human. Yes, we're going to make mistakes, but I want you to recognize what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you're coming across to people. You also want to make sure you're respecting. I know we spoke about this respect earlier, but it's such a huge thing. So many people have lost that sense of respect, and they've lost the need to respect other people. So keep that at the top of mind. If you wouldn't want someone to speak to you a certain way, then make sure you're not doing that to other people. And then response. So people are always looking for a response, whether it's via email, via phone, or text message. Make sure you're responding to those people in a timely manner. If someone sends you an email, don't wait 2 weeks to respond. If you need to go on vacation, make sure you put that signature in your email list, so that way if people are emailing you and you can't respond right away, make sure that you're sending that that automated email out to them, so that they're aware that you got the message, but you're not able to respond, and they don't take it as, oh, that person is just blatantly ignoring me. So some key things to remember with the telephone etiquette. You want to speak clearly and distinctly. State your name and the name of your organization. And then you also want to use a pleasant, professional tone of voice. It sounds really simple, but some people get this so wrong. So when I answer the phone, I know I want to answer the phone smiling, because when you're smiling, people can hear that on the other side of the phone, versus, hi, this is Youth in Richmond. How may I help you? Right? Like, people can tell what you sound like when you answer the phone. So, or they can tell like what your energy level is like. So try to answer the phone super perky and happy and smile. I promise you, if you smile when you answer the phone, you sound totally different. Email etiquette. Okay, this is a great one because I receive so many emails. Make sure you keep it brief. So if I'm sending a thank you note to someone, right? I'll send them a thank you email, and I'll say, okay, thank you for XYZ. I really appreciate XYZ. I always make the third sentence like unrelated to whatever I'm emailing them about. So maybe we can catch lunch sometime. And then I'll say, again, thanks for XYZ. super brief, 4 sentences, and it's to the point. So email etiquette is especially important because your work email is not private. Remember this. Many companies monitor their employees' work accounts for unprofessional conduct. There's actually a company that I'm very familiar with now. They're actually building a technology to where you can plug it in to your employee's account, and it flags inappropriate messages, and it flags anything that might look like it's sexual misconduct or harassment. It will flag certain words and then send it up to higher management, and you can get in real trouble because your jobs are at stake. So make sure you are all keeping yourselves aware of how you're emailing one another. And then, so in-person etiquette, you always want to make sure when you meet somebody for the first time, you shake their hands firmly and confidently. So many people shake my hand, and you're going to see a video on this later, but so many people shake my hand and they're literally shaking my knuckles, or the guys that I meet, they have to demonstrate their masculinity. So they want to squeeze my hand so hard, and it's very uncomfortable. So make sure when you shake someone's hand, you're doing it firmly, not too soft, because you don't want to give a weak and wimpy handshake, but nice and firm. You also want to make sure you're making direct eye contact. So look at that person in the eye, because I guarantee when you're looking at that person in the eye, you're conveying how confident you are. And then smile and say your name. People want to see your beautiful smiles. So when you meet somebody for the first time, you want to shake their hands firmly and confidently, make direct eye contact, and smile. Say your name. And I promise you, this will make a huge difference in your first impressions. First impressions are everything, because you literally get 7 seconds for someone to judge you based on how they meet you for the first time. So make sure you're staying cognizant of all of these things. And there are tons of other rules of etiquette, but I know we only have 45 minutes, and I really want to show you all this video. So I'm going to press play. So I went to the American School of Protocol, and I received an etiquette certification with Peggy Newfield. And I want to show you a snippet of this video, and I'll just press play. And let me know if you can't hear the sound. Just put something in the chat.
Hello, I'm Peggy Newfield, President and founder of the American School of Protocol. During the past 35 years of teaching etiquette and networking skills, I have watched our world grow and change. Technology definitely has added a new dimension to the way that we do business. It has strongly affected how people are communicating with each other. Technology has helped our world become so small. Today, we can push a button and never have to interface with others. Therefore, I'm often asked questions about how to get the most out of social and business events and what the rules are today for dining and cocktail parties. Let's discuss some of the most common questions and topics that come up in our courses. We begin with the cocktail party. Whether the event is social or professional, connecting with other people always occurs. Knowing the right way to approach this type of event is essential. Food, drink, and business simply cannot be separated. Strive to always look your best and make sure your appearance is appropriate for the event. Subconsciously, when people see us, they make decisions about us even before we speak. If you're unsure of proper attire, contact your host. It is also important to be uncluttered. That means that briefcases should be checked or left behind. Women should opt for a small clutch over large purses and then find a space where that purse can be easily placed. At a cocktail party, position yourself at the food table or bar. This is where you'll come in contact with the most people and have a better chance of a one-on-one encounter. Watch your consumption of alcoholic beverages. The bar also serves water, juices, and soft drinks. If you're coming straight from the office, if you are hungry, walk directly to the food table, get a plate, move to the side and eat before you begin networking. Then you will be free to shake hands and easily converse. Nothing is worse while you are eating hors d'oeuvres than for someone to speak to you and you have a mouthful of food. While standing and eating at a reception, your plate, glass, and napkin are positioned at your waist. Food and drink always go waist to face, never chin to mouth. One of the most common faux pas we see at cocktail events is double dipping of hors d'oeuvres. Spoon condiments on your plate. If you don't have a plate, dip your carrot just once, please. When meeting someone for the first time, state your full name, make eye contact, and extend your hand. To remember someone's name, always repeat it back immediately upon introduction. When shaking hands, lock your thumbs. Take care not to close your hand before you reach the thumb. If you do, you'll end up applying pressure to someone's knuckles, and that really hurts. Because introductions and your handshake are critical for the first impression, it is important to keep your right hand free at all times. At a stand-up cocktail event, this will mean holding your plate, glass, and napkin together in your left hand. This can be done easily with a wine or beer glass or a double old-fashioned glass by balancing the glass on the plate. Using your thumb to secure the glass is always the best way. When attending any social or business event, always come prepared with 10 questions that you can use to prompt small talk. The National Research Institute says that weather and sports are most often used in beginning conversations. Listen to the person speaking. Listening is power. Social and business cards are necessary tools when attempting any event when people are gathered together. Most opportunities don't present themselves twice, and you always need to have a contact card available. Never give someone your card unless they ask for it. Remember, it's all about your savoir-faire. You never know when chance meetings produce life-changing events. There are many more details about working a cocktail reception that we cover in our etiquette seminars, including food to always avoid, tipping, rules of introduction. But what we have covered here provides you with the core tools to present your best self at social or professional cocktail events. Now, let's move to the dining room for dinner.
Okay, so I am going to go over a couple of different rules when it comes to dining. Let's see. Come on. Okay. So we're going to discuss dining styles for a little bit. And there is so much to cover. And I usually give this, I usually cover this in either a 1 or a 3-hour session, really just depending on what we want to learn that day. But we're just going to go over 5 key things. So there are 2 different types of dining styles. There's zigzag and continental. These are tools that you use either inside of the US or outside of the US when you're eating. Zigzag is usually used in the United States, and continental is used outside of the United States. So when you look at zigzag and continental, zigzag is a 5-step dining process and continental is a 2-step dining process. Really just depending on where you are. I use continental dining when I'm here and when I go overseas, just because I like eating using continental style. It's very fun. So I'll try to get with Dominique so that I can, demonstrate what these dining styles look like. But you can also feel free to look some of these styles up, and I'll leave my contact information as well. If you want to take an etiquette class with me and I'm demonstrating how to eat and how to use these different forms of dining. So then there's also the bread. So when you go to a restaurant and the waiter or the waitress brings you bread, there's a certain way that you eat the bread. You don't stuff the bread in your mouth. You place the bread on your plate, and the plate is usually on your left side. And what you want to do is you want to rip the pieces of the bread. Never stuff the whole bread in your mouth. If you want to butter the bread, you're buttering one piece at a time and then putting that in your mouth. So don't ever leave bread hanging out of your mouth. Don't take a chunk of the bread and just bite it. Just rip off a piece at a time. Eating utensils. So you always eat from the outside in. So if you go to one of these super fancy restaurants and they have tons of silverware on the table, you just start from the outside in. You start from the outside and then you work your way in, because it's going to go, you're eating your soup first, and then you go to your salad, and then you go to your main course, and then you have your dessert last, and the dessert utensils are usually at the top of the plate, and it really just depends on what restaurant you're going to. But just remember that key thing, always eat from the outside in. So with the napkin, there are generally 5 uses of the napkin. This is what I teach all of my students. You want to place the napkin in your lap with the open end facing you. So when you fold a napkin in half, there's an open end of the napkin. You want to make sure that that is facing you, because it's easier if you have to pick it up and cough or sneeze, or if you need to pick it up and wipe your mouth. It's just easier that way. But the napkin is usually there to start the meal. So if you're hosting a dinner party, as soon as you put the napkin or place the napkin in your lap, that's a sign that you are starting the meal. You also end the meal with a napkin. So as soon as you pick up that napkin and place it on the table, never in your chair, because placing it in your chair is super disgusting. Everyone's bottom has been on the chair. So keep that in mind when you go to restaurants and you need to get up and go to the bathroom. Don't place the napkin in your chair, place it on the table. And it's usually on the left side. And when you're finished eating your meal, don't place the napkin in the plate. You should always just place it on the left side of the table. And then you also are using the napkin to catch food that might fall. So I see a lot of men who think the napkin goes here, or really just a lot of people in general, but you don't ever want to put the napkin here. You place it on your lap and that's it. And then also use it to wipe your mouth. I always want to make sure I'm getting 3 corners. So, or 2 corners in my chin. So I just do 1, 2, and then 3. And, it doesn't make it super awkward as I'm wiping my mouth. I'm not taking the napkin and just, smearing my entire mouth. I'm just doing 1 corner, 2 corners, and then my chin. And then lastly, your drinking glasses. So I like to remind a lot of my ladies, when drinking out of these glasses, to drink out of one side, because if you notice, you have your lipstick or your lip gloss on your lips. You want to make sure you're leaving one lip print on that glass. If you start drinking from all of these different areas, now you're going to have all different lip prints all over your glass, and it really doesn't look flattering. So make sure you're only drinking off of that one side. And then when you pick up the glass, you make sure you hold it by the bowl. And this is only with like water or juice. So you pick up the glass and you hold that glass by the bowl, not the stem. Now, when you're drinking wine or champagne, you can definitely hold it by the stem. And the reason being is because when you're drinking those things, you don't want to warm the contents that's in that glass. Those are served chilled, and your hand will warm that glass up because our bodies are warm, right? So make sure you hold that by the stem. And I think that was the last one. So yes, these are the dining styles. So like we can literally spend an entire hour or two going over the different dining styles, zigzag, continental, how you set your knife when you're finished, and how you put your knife when you're taking a break, or you just want to have a regular conversation so that the waiter or the waitress knows not to pick up your plate. So many different things that we can discuss, but we are short on time, and I want to make sure I get to all of your questions. Okay, so this is all of my contact information here. So if you want to find out more about etiquette, feel free to email me or shoot me a text message. You can totally text that number. But I'm super excited to be here and to speak to you about etiquette. A lot of people, they don't value etiquette, or they may underestimate what etiquette can do for you. And as I said when I introduced myself earlier, because of these etiquette skills that I possess, and because I'm always prepared for opportunities that might not occur, as opposed to being unprepared for an opportunity that's right there. It's a part of life. These are soft skills that you really need to have in order to progress, in order to find success, in order to set yourself apart from other candidates who might be applying for a job, the same job that you're applying for. But use these etiquette skills as a tool to propel your careers. Use these tools as a tool to prepare where you are in society. And I promise you, they will help you in the long run. So I want to open it up to questions because I know we have until 12:45. So I think we have like 7 minutes for questions. So I will stop my share. And then I'll open it up to questions that anyone might have. And I hope that you all found this information useful.
While we're waiting for questions, Margo, I want to thank you so much. That was a lot of that really resonated with me. I know I have made decisions based on folks' etiquette interacting with me as well, and so important. So yeah, folks, if you want to ask Margo any questions, absolutely pop them into chat. Take advantage of the expert while she is here. I see a couple of thank yous.
And if no one else has any questions, and thank you so much for allowing me to present. I promise you, it's so much more fun when we're in person and we're doing these etiquette lessons with real food. And hopefully HCC will have that opportunity for you all to do in-person etiquette lessons, because I think it's super helpful and it will really set you apart. And I'm not speaking from I'm speaking from experience. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I do see there is a hand raised. So Ariana, I'm going to unmute you if you have a question. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to know if you do the trainings that you say you do you offer any like communication skills in that?
I do actually. I offer communication skills. Funny thing, when I went to school, my major was it was communications and PR, but I switched it over to finance because I wanted to challenge myself more, but I've always had a knack for public speaking, communication, and showing people how to speak effectively. Hence the reason why I've won over 250,000 in pitch competitions, because I've learned how to speak and how to communicate effectively. So yes, to answer your question, I do.
Okay, thank you. That's amazing.
All right, and we also have a question from Fabian. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you as well.
Hello, thank you. Yes, my question is, how do you best deal with situations where there is an international gathering, like people from other countries and that kind of thing?
So I would do a lot of research on whatever. So if, let's say, there's a gathering and you know there are going to be people there from, I would just use this as an example, China. Make sure you research like whatever country or whatever nationality will be there. So do your own research and make sure you come prepared for, for being around that, for being in that situation. Now, and are you referring to like a dinner party that you might have, or are you referring to just like a large gathering where there are going to be different cultures there?
A large gathering where there are going to be different cultures, business, because now there are so many business situations where there are people from other countries, whether in person, online, Zoom, that kind of thing.
Right. So, and honestly, when it comes to etiquette, it's really like a universal language. So being polite, please, thank you. Some people like to shake hands, and I know we're in like this post-COVID era where people are like hesitant on whether or not they want to just say hello or shake hands, but it's perfectly okay to ask that person, would you like me to shake your hand? And it really just depends on you and the situation that you're in. So just make sure you stay cognizant. Try to do a little bit of research on maybe the culture and how they do things in a certain country to prepare yourself. But like I said, etiquette is really like a universal language. So as long as you're staying polite, be yourself, then you should be fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have another question from Kasey. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you.
Hi, it's Casey, and I had a question about email etiquette.
Yes.
So I've been emailing a potential employer, and at this point I'm like at the end of the onboarding process, but there are a lot of back and forth emails, and sometimes I'm not sure if it's worse to continue with the same I guess using the same way of addressing that person in the email each time, because sometimes it'll be more conversational, like maybe with a response in maybe 5 minutes or 3 minutes. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on that.
Great question. So honestly, I would always keep it professional. So even if it's conversational, I would still address that person as MS or Mr.,
Hmm.
And one rule of thumb when you are emailing someone, and let's say you don't know if they're married or if they're single, and we're speaking about a woman, you always want to address them with MS and not Mrs. So you use that, just keep it professional, even if you are in like a conversational sort of email chat. But when you keep that level of professionalism, you're demonstrating to them the type of person that you are and the type of employee that you will be. So later when you get the job, right, you can transition into like a conversational type of email addressing. But for right now, I would definitely say keep it professional.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all have some really great questions. And I know it's 12:45, so
And I think we've gotten all the hands that are up. So
okay, awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for fielding those questions. I
Awesome.
think Dominique is going to do the wrap up.
Awesome.
Thank you so much again, Ms. Margo. That was great information. I can tell from the chat and just my own personal experience attending today that the information was great. So thank you again. For all of our students who are attending this event. This event will be available for playback on our YouTube channel. You will receive an email between today and tomorrow with a link to it. In addition to that, if you're attending this event for Eagle Points, you should see those Eagle Points appear on your profile within the next couple of days. And as always, for life hacking, we do incentivize participation with e-gift cards. So 3 lucky students who have participated in this event will win an $25 e-gift card. So just be on the lookout via your student email for that. And that's all I have. Treva, Sean, I'm sorry, did you have anything else you wanted to add? Maybe some upcoming things for the library?
Oh my gosh. I appreciate the platform, but I cannot think of it like other than reading culture events, and I don't have the dates on my mind. I cannot think of anything. So I want to chime in. Thank you so much, Margo. These skills are so valuable. And I really, really hope the students were able to take away some pointers.
Agreed. And hopefully when we get, hopefully spring semester will look a little bit different for us. Hopefully we'll get out of the red, and maybe for spring we can visit hosting an in-person etiquette class for our students. We've done that in the past and it's been very well attended. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to that. So I am totally excited and so down to do an in-person etiquette class.
Thank you so much again, and have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day. Thank you.